Remember when I said earlier in the intro that I was going to talk about exercise changes, things like that? This is the perfect time. Hitting those squats, that's one of the harder things of the workout for me, as I was just talking about. It's a good time to take a little extended break, because you know there's another compound coming up. I'm going to do Romanian deadlifts today, I decided. But first, I want to get into the training chat, and I want to talk about how often you should consider changing up exercises. I'm talking about that because in the supplement exercise directions of the GST size manual right here, page 73, I've found something very interesting in my years of training clients. The less frequently I change their programming concepts or exercise selections, the more progress they make in multiple departments, such as strength gains, fat loss, and actual muscle growth, hypertrophy. And this is really important. You know, I've seen anecdotal evidence of this over and over and over and over. I have like 25,000 plus hours of client training experience. So I have plenty of time, you know, reading studies, doing research, things like that over the years. But I also have this massive amount of anecdotal evidence. And that's worth a lot. You know, to me, that's worth a lot. The real world, things that you see in the real world, they matter. And I've undeniably found that if I can just keep people doing exercises for an extended period of time, say a couple months, sometimes 3 or 4 months, what this does, it gives them time to actually really get good at the exercise. And that matters. You know, everybody says if you can't do something well, if people are doing better than you, get good. They just say, get good. And that's what allowing time with an exercise does. How are you supposed to master a skill in a few weeks? You know, exercising is a skill. You don't really generally think about it like that, and people might not think about it like that right off the bat. But as you train more and you get into it and you love it, you realize like, yeah, this actually is a skill. If I do an exercise and I practice it, practice with lighter weights, practice with heavier weights, really focus on form, I get better at the exercise and I actually do get more out of it. It's this thing that happens. And you're only going to allow that to happen, you're only going to feel that result, that progress, if you allow yourself the time to feel it, to make it happen, to practice, to get good. So I recommend keeping exercises for at least 8 weeks. You know, unless something's really wrong, like it's causing you pain, you've tried different little form tweaks and you can't get that pain to go away, or you hate it so much that you're not going to do it. Those are the 2 main reasons that I would say to not follow my rule here, the 8-week rule, and use something else. Switch it up. Because if you hate something so much that it's going to keep you from doing it, you don't have to force yourself to do it. You're going to fall off that wagon, and there's no question about that. And if something's causing you pain, like the bad type of pain, you know, the sharp joint pain, actual pain outside of just DOMS, you know, delayed onset muscle soreness, or burn while you're doing the exercise. If you're feeling the bad type of pain and it won't stop, and you've tried different form tweaks and you've watched form tutorials and you think you're doing everything right, you know, make the move away from that exercise. Don't force yourself through pain. That's a whole other topic, but the bottom line is, you know, that's a reason to switch up an exercise prior to my recommended 8-week mark. You know, I think this training chat can actually be a little shorter today. I think that I've got my point across. It's basically give your exercises time for you to get good at them, and you're going to see more results from those same exercises. It does matter. Trust me. Training is repetitive. If you have, you know, ADD and you need to switch things up so bad, that's fine. You know, you're an individual. Feel free. But at least shoot for like 4 to 6 weeks. You really got to try to do that. It does make a big difference. And certain exercises, they're going to stick in your program for much longer. You know, they could stick in your program for years, and that's not even an exaggeration, because certain exercises are just that high quality, you don't need to switch them up. From time to time, you know, exercises like that are going to come around. You're going to get into that groove with them, and they're just not going to go away. And that's okay. Switch some up from time to time. You don't have to switch your whole program either. That's another thing. You don't have to switch your whole program. pick a few exercises every couple, 3 months and switch them up. It's good for mental engagement. It's good for variety. It's good for that mental refresh, even that physical refresh. So I think you get my point. Don't do muscle confusion. That's not a real thing. Your muscles don't wake up at 6 a.m. and dare somebody to try and confuse them, you know. That does not happen. Muscles don't have brains. They cannot get confused. Let's just leave it at that. I need to get to deadlifts. I hope this was an informative chat. I do feel like I ranted a little bit, maybe repeated myself, but I think that's classic me. You might know that by now. I just like to drive in the home points, because you hear things once and you might just, in one ear and out the other. You hear them a couple times, it's better, and then you hear them like 3 times, and it's probably going to stick. And that's what I want to try to do, is get these important points to stick, because they're valuable, and you can really make more progress with the things that I'm saying. What do you think of muscle confusion? I would love to know what you think, even if you disagree with me. It's great. Debate, discussion, that's what drives me to make better content here. And it's just good to talk. I mean, I just like to talk training, whether it's just like talking trash to each other, friendly trash, agreeing on things. I just like to talk training. Get at me with your comment here. All right, Romanian deadlifts. It's time for that posterior chain destruction. Like I said, GST has evolved from a once weekly program into a twice weekly beast. It's been like this for a while, but the program does keep evolving. And that's what this latest variation, this GST size variation, is all about. It's the latest evolution in GST programming.